just got home from sitting in the Gold Coast and I thought I would unpack my bags and show you everything that I took, just to kind of, I like to do this at the end of the trip to get a bit of an idea of what I took that I probably didn't need to. Look at everything from a value perspective. Did I actually use it? If I didn't use it, maybe I don't need to take it next time. If you're going on a tour and you haven't been on one before, there's a whole bunch of things you should take and there's a whole bunch of things that you shouldn't bother to take. I've got my tank bag, back bag, 2 saddle bags, and my backpack. I'm going to run through each of them individually. Now, I can't remember what's here myself, so. All right, tank bag first. Drone. So the good thing about this trip was, with the Beamer, I can now put the drone on the tank. It doesn't vibrate it into a million pieces. With the remote on a nice long cable, so I can stick the remote in the tank bag and then have the phone mounted on the handlebars. So obviously phone as well is in there, and my Zumo Garmin on the handlebars. Something to wipe down cameras and lens. Spare batteries for the GoPro, phone charging cable, raincoat for the tank bag, another secondary cable for the phone, more GoPro batteries. Now I've got a pack here which is just essentially painkillers, antihistamines and stuff like that. A couple of bits and pieces, my AirPods. And that's pretty much it for the tank bag. Next, let's go with the rear pack. The saddlebags and the rear bag, because we're on a tour, we can drop those bags go into the car. And so I don't have to carry those during the day. However, for the trip back, I did have to. So I needed to consider, what I could take during the trip and then what I would take on my trip back on my own. So in here, in this main one, I kept my raincoat, my wet weather gear. So this is my outer layer. So that way, particularly when you're on your own, you can just stop, put it on when you need to, take it off when you don't need it. Goggles, they're obviously, sort of a personal choice whether you want goggles or not. I found them really good when it was foggy and raining or dusty. So that's when they're good. But you don't want them all the time, so it's good to have them somewhere where you can get rid of them. Now, this is my electronics bag. So I don't carry this during the day, but it sits with the support vehicle. So then that has in there basically all my cables, chargers, and so on. It's a nifty little bag. I'll throw a link to it. Just got it from Amazon. I've got 2 rock straps. These are the thicker ones. I didn't use them at all. So still probably would pack them if I needed them. They're good sort of, just in case something breaks. Now this is the outer layer pants, the jacket before. I did not use those at all. We had full on torrential rain. Pretty insane rain, and I never used that once. So I'm gonna throw that in the don't take next time pile. Another jacket. So I took a second jacket to go over the top. Now this jacket would fit over the top of, so again, like the outer layer, and I thought it would also be good for, at night time, going to the pub and so on. Never used it once. So that will go in the do not take next time pile. That's that bag done. Just because I took a jumper, I took 2 jumpers, and so one I wore during the day when it was cold, and then the second one was a nicer one to wear, if we went to the pub. 2 was plenty. The other one gets a bit stinky, so then I have a nice one. Let's run through one of the saddlebags. Doesn't matter which side it is. So I love these ADV Works bags because of this inner layer. So the inner layer goes inside the saddlebag, so you can just take it out. Love that. So that's my nice jumper. That was the one I wore to the pub. Okay, this is the bag where I kept all my t-shirts, underpants, socks. And so all I've got left is one t-shirt because I'm wearing this one. Because I've got that on the tour. In fact, there's 2 t-shirts there. Because I did get 2 t-shirts on the way. So that's why I've ended up. And I've got 1 pair of socks I didn't use. The only thing left in this bag is then another waterproof bag. This is, I'm not going to open it because if you could smell through a camera, that would knock you off your feet. This is basically all the t-shirts, underpants, socks that I used during the during the trip. So that's going straight to the laundry. I throw them in there so then they're isolated from all the other clothes, don't make everything else stinky. And then basically what I'd do is I'd get to the hotel room, have a shower, put on a pair of underpants and a fresh t-shirt and socks, and those are the ones I'd then wear the next day riding. So I'm only ever wearing one per day. I'll put that well over there out of the way. I did have this on the bike as well, so it's the Giant Loop 3.8 litres. I filled it, not quite filled it before I left, and there's actually a little bit still left in there. So I did use it during the day, but just little bits and pieces. I just like to have my own water on me. Second saddlebag. Let's have a look in here. This one of them I basically had all my overnight stuff in, and then the other one I had stuff that I might have needed during the day. A bit of mix in both. So a pair of jeans. I took one pair of jeans that lasted me the whole week. Again, just going to the pub. It's the only time I used them was basically when you're getting dinner. There's another t-shirt that I did use a couple of times. A hat. It's always a good idea to have a hat. For this, definitely didn't need to use it this time because we never saw the sun. But when it's sunny and if you're out and you take your helmet off, having a hat to protect your head, particularly if it's a little thinner, is a good thing. This was given to me as a gift while I was on the ride, so that is why that is in there. Otherwise I've got more than enough jumpers. Deodorant, had to buy some deodorant because I lost the other ones. A pair of shoes. Now again, this is just for going to dinner. I try to go for some nice thin shoes that don't take up too much space, just nice quick slip-on ones. Camera equipment, that microphone, I actually did use it once. Now, this is my chesty mount for mounting the 360 on my chest. Never used it. So I might and ah about that one next time. Spare set of gloves. These are my winter gloves. I used them once, surprisingly. I thought I'd use them more. It's always still a good idea to have them. However, I ended up using my summer gloves the whole time because they were drenched. And rather than getting those wet, and it wasn't really cold enough, surprisingly. Then the other thing in here is my headlight cover fell off on the first day. So that I need to fix. So that's that bag. And last but not least is my backpack. So obviously what is not in this backpack, camera wise, there's a GoPro right there that's recording this at the moment. There's my SLR camera that you're currently watching on. So that was in here. The SLR sits in the bottom there, in this little section here. It means the weight's down nice and low against your back. Good and bad. It's quite a heavy lens, that one. It's probably 2.5 kilos or so. And I did notice that when I'm accelerating, it's really hard to get the weight forward because there's this big heavy camera on your back, sort of pulling you backwards. So, but that's a compromise, just to get nice photos. Battery for the Canon. Battery and charger for the 360 that I didn't use. 2 batteries for the drone, which got lots of use. They were definitely, the Flymore combo was worth every cent. Water in the backpack. That definitely got used. In the top here I have my SD cards. So that's all the SD cards from the trip. So they are going to sit safely right there. Start backing them up. My sunglasses, never used them. Not once. Strawberries and creams. Whoa. Need some energy for the day. There's my 360 camera that I did not use. I have my wallet. I have a spare GoPro, just in case. Luckily didn't need to use that, but that was there. Windsock for the audio device, which is in my pocket. That was the other thing I did take, was the audio device, but that's a camera thing. Spare key for the bike. Kept that in my backpack. So I've got the key on the bike, but then there's a spare one there. That, I think, is it. I've got ND filters for the GoPros, which again, I did not use those at all because it wasn't sunny enough. I've got a tripod for it's a small tripod for the SLR. Did use that a couple of times. That was well worth it. And on the other side, strapped in with the clip, is a Garmin 66, which I borrowed from Andrew because someone lost my Garmin InReach just before we left. So luckily Andrew, thank you very much, lent me that. Nice device, I like. And that is it. That's everything I took. There's nothing else on the bike. That's the basics. So a couple of things I probably won't take. I only needed the one jacket. Didn't need the wet weather pants. The straps, I didn't use them, but I'll still take them. My toothbrush is not in here, by the way, because I left it somewhere, as well as my deodorant, which is why I had to buy some ladies deodorant on the way down, which had me smelling nice. Oh, one other thing I did take is an external battery, which is currently plugged into the GoPro down there. That sits in my jacket inside pocket, and that charges the GoPro through the day, so I never have to worry about batteries. That's it. That's everything I took.